You know, that music is a little bit my generation, you know that? Two step like that. Okay, good morning again. So now we're back to talk about millennials in the workforce. So now the first question to you, Ibu Satia, is how significant the millennials in the country's workforce nowadays?
I think they're very significant. I think the workforce now is like, in my experience, is like 62% to 70% is all millennials now.
All millennials
yes,
now?
Now.
So basically, well, since you're in the banking industry, when this actually shifted to a very large number of millennials, since when actually? Is it 10 years ago that banking industry is actually growing in their millennials employees?
I think it's not 10 years, it's just like 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah, because I think the children, I mean the youngsters, they come back from the university, right? They come back from overseas, they come back from a lot of university here in Indonesia, and then they start to find work. So that's where when all the millennials come, and I think they are now more than 65% in the workforce.
And how different do companies, or maybe in your company, basically treat them in terms of professionally, you know, like structure-wise, you know, like career path, for example? Because I've been listening to different sectors, and they say nowadays it's actually faster for anybody to go up, to go to the higher level based on their perspective or performances, basically on that. But different like long time ago, we have like a certain level just to grow, basically. Is it true or not?
I think it's true. If I could share something about the three generations, the baby boomers, the Gen X, and the Gen Y, now which is the millennials. Baby boomers, like maybe myself, we turn very loyal, we are very committed, and we're very hardworking. Second is the Gen X. Gen X is, they are very go-getters. They want professional development and career, but they're not so loyal. So if they don't find that in the company, they actually would try to find another company.
They're very mobile.
They're very mobile. Not so mobile as the Gen Y.
But they have loyalty issues.
Yes, they have a little bit of loyalty issues. Well, the Gen Y, they're very creative. They're intelligent. They come from universities, very good universities abroad. They're very intelligent. They are smart and also very digital savvy. But from experience, they are not too loyal. They are not loyal because a lot of time they want something instant. They wanted something instant. When I actually have the conversation with them, when I interview them, they will always say, oh, okay, how many years I'm going to be a manager? How many years I'm going to be an executive? And if that doesn't happen, they actually just leave us. They just actually leave us. Because in their mind is a lot of what is it for me, and they have now the opportunity to be opening their own businesses.
Okay, but so this kind of generation actually changing, they've been changing the cultures as well in companies. Do you agree that? Do you agree with that?
I think so, but it also depends on the companies where they work, because they actually also find 75% of them actually find the company who has the value as their values. So it goes shifting after they actually think that the company is giving the values as what they have.
Okay, so what kind of learning did you get in terms of, you know, adapting with this generation? So do you actually change the way you treat them, basically, in the workplace?
Yes, we do that because we listen and we wanted to give them something different that can cater their interests. So for us in DBS, we have a lot of things that we do it flexibility, in terms of flexibility. Say like working clothes. We actually have a smart casual day all week.
All week?
All week. So they can wear jeans, they can wear shirts, they can wear anything, except if they meet customer or clients.
Okay.
Yeah, but all week they can actually just be casual. And then we also have this working flexibility in working hours.
Working hours as well?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
How do you change them?
So they can actually come earlier and go earlier, or they come later and go later.
Still 8 hours a day?
Still 8 hours, because that's the government regulation.
Right, okay.
But it's very flexible. It's very flexible. So they tend to just adjust it and schedule it with their managers.
Okay, how about, since you mentioned about loyalty issues before that, how about the performance in terms of work-related issues? Do they actually work well compared to previous generation?
They work well if we actually give them targets. They really work well if they give targets. But of course, they also need mentoring. That's the key word also. They actually needed mentoring because they are very sure of themselves. Right, they're very sure of themselves, and they think that they can do that. So a lot of mentoring is actually that we give them also. In terms of performance, they're very good. They're very good. But yes, if you don't have a career path that is actually very, they can actually see it, they go.
All right. So can you give us an example of maybe one or two cases that that applies on a company that has not adapting with this generation, the way they treat the employees, the younger employees, still the same that like they always be, and actually like losing them, like periodically, like in stages. For example, if one company keep losing their young employees and keep hiring all the time, do you see all that cases lately in other companies?
I think no. I think companies all are shifting to catering the millennials because I see that a lot of turnover is actually like 3 or 4 years before, where we don't actually cater for millennials. Now I see that a lot of companies also doing that. I mean, but we are the first bank who is actually giving a lot of flexibility.
Okay.
We are the
How
first
about
bank.
when you mentioned they want everything to be fast? So how fast do they need to finish any job, basically, in their career to go, to the higher level? Like you said, they always ask, when am I,
Going
promoted
to be manager. Okay, so we have also a career ladder, and we give them rotations. So to keep them not bored, we actually give rotations. We have this 2+2 rotation program. When you're already 2 years in that role, you can actually move to another role in 2 months' time. Okay. And then the career ladder also is not that we actually have a certain career ladder. When you are a talent, you can actually go like 1 to 2 years to another level.
Okay. And how about in terms of payment? You don't need to say the numbers, but in terms of payment level for millennials compared to the previous generation, what do you think about that?
I think we are in the market also because in terms of payment, we always have to compare ourselves with the markets, and we always wanting to be the same with the market. So we give them actually payments which is also very competitive with the markets.
Very competitive, but in terms of leveling, so of course it's so much higher compared to previous in certain industries for previous generations, right?
Yes, we do that. We do that because for them, like what I said. The importance of level and importance of becoming like a manager for them is much more important than maybe the Generation X or baby boomers at the time.
And they have maybe better or much better education compared to previous generation. All right, so one study says that they are cut and paste generation. So in terms of keeping them in one company, like you said, you keep rolling them to different division or mission, for example, or positions. But in terms of growing the market, growing the company with this generation, is it easy or hard, basically?
I think it's actually easy for them. I think it's actually easy because we try to listen and we do all the flexibility for them. But I think the most challenging is how we actually do assimilation between these millennials and the Generation X, because a lot of how to bridge them, because the Generation X, they actually is now the team leaders. A lot of them are the heads of these millennials, and they have the mind thinking that you need to work hard. You need to work hard. While these millennials thinks that it's instant. It's instant, right? I work hard, I give my result, and boom, I become a manager. This is not the case with the Generation X. Generation X will think about it is a marathon, right?
Yes.
It's a marathon, so you need to really work very hard before you gain something.
And then you can get that position.
That position. So that's the challenge in the company now, how we bridge between the millennials and the Generation X or the Generation baby boomers.
Okay, I'm learning a lot here too, management skills. All right, thank you so much, but we'll come back after the breaks. We'll come back with more discussion about millennials in the workforce, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back to DayBreak, and let's continue this talk with Satia Indrarini. And Ibu Satia, if we talk about the differences, like you mentioned before, so they have loyalty issues. They have we have to provide how to to bridge the communication between the previous generation with this millennial generation. So how do you achieve that kind of a good or inline communication basis?
We actually do a lot of trainings also. We do a lot of trainings. We have leadership trainings for the Gen X, and we have mentoring, which is the key, because mentoring, actually the Generation X also learn from the millennials. Millennials also learn from the Generation X. So we have mentoring, and we have also a lot of digital. We are embracing digital because these millennials are very, very digital savvy, right? Well, Gen X and baby boomers, I think they're left behind. Okay. So how we have a lot of digital trainings also. So we put all the Generation X and the millennials together, so they learn how to make a startup, learn what is digital. So everybody has the same values and has the same perception.
So the previous generation will have Snapchat in your company. So not into that kind of chat, but but in terms of work ethics, I know you mentioned a little bit about their loyalty and the way you have to be flexible with them. But you also mentioned about the time frame in probably 4 years in terms of they can move around to another industry or sectors or another companies. But how do we keep them in the same company more than 4 years, for example? Is it possible for that?
Yes, it is possible. For us, it's more on how we actually create the engagement with them. So for us, we do a lot of celebration. We appreciate what they're doing.
Right.
So, and we actually try to understand what is their interest, right? So we do a lot of things, projects and everything, and we include them. We include them so they know that the company is growing and they contribute something.
Okay.
So by that, I think they like to stay because they want to see. Say if you're in a project which is going to be launched in like 2 years' time, they actually wanted to see that the project is a success. So they stay with us. Okay. They stay with us.
But how about the baby boomers in the company? Do they actually adapting as well or not?
The baby boomers, they have to, like myself. Okay. I'm now very active in the social media. So because I want to know.
Twitter.
Yes, Twitter.
Facebook.
IG, Facebook.
IG. Nice.
And everything. And Snapchat also. I'm
Snapchat too. Great. Okay, so baby boomers adapting, also try to learn, to communicate with millennials. But in terms of industry, what kind of industry that this generation, millennials, are good at, basically, are suitable at?
I think most industries they are suitable, but I think the thing is, is how the industry can give them flexibility. So I think they're suitable in anything, banking, FMG, but they have to have the flexibility. So if you can actually cater that for them, then they're fine. Then they're fine, and they will give their very good performance.
Okay, can you give me an example what kind of training in terms of building their leadership, building their teamwork, building their communication skills? How do we do that?
We have a lot of leadership training, and now we are also shifting from the classroom leadership training to a mobile thing. Mobile. So we put leadership in the mobile. So when you actually in the car or everywhere, you can actually read the mini series of leadership. And then we have also a chatting session in the mobile also, where when you actually read it, you want to ask, you ask, and somebody from your peers will actually answers you. So that kind of leadership training, not the leadership training that you're sitting in a class and somebody was saying, oh, this is the supervisory skills and things like that. No, it's just we actually put up cases in the mobile phone, and then they can read it, and then when they don't understand how this the decision making is or anything, they can ask. So it's really interactive. It's very interactive.
Okay, and then you also mentioned, but they need to get involved in the target, in a certain target, right?
Yes.
So they can, they can work hard to achieve that target.
Yes.
But in terms of having a meeting with millennials, what kind of meeting that actually apply basically if we have a meeting with millennials? Because I believe that you also are involved in certain meetings with millennials, how they talk, how you share your opinions, but how do you build up a very productive communication in a meeting with millennials?
First, it has to be, you don't put them in a room. You don't put it in a room, a meeting room. So we do meetings in Starbucks.
Okay.
We do
Coffee
meetings
shops,
in
yes?
coffee shop. We do meeting also in training rooms. Our training room is also very flexible. We have bean bags. You don't put them in one table, right? But you have bean bags and everywhere. So and then we started to talk. We ask their input also. It's not us only talking to them, but they also talking to us. So a lot of times we have like a discussion, more on discussion than meeting.
Okay.
And it helps.
But some people said that they also have weakness, that they like to be catered with like information, support, for example, just to to give them a very nice and clean road to move, basically to walk. So do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree, and that's why we need to have means to actually give that kind of information to them, which is, I think, the use of handphones.
Okay.
Yeah, the use of a lot of media.
Okay.
To help them.
I would like to get the opinion from that youngsters or the DJ, for example. So DJ Iyal, can you actually explain to me the difference between young DJs to the previous generation DJs?
I think the fine line between the old DJs and the more
Don't say
younger
old.
DJs. Yeah, I'm not saying old. I'm
The
saying
baby boomers.
professional experience more.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, young DJs has lack of experience, but it doesn't really matter anyway, because what we really need is actually study with more old DJs, let's say old, because I don't think there are like lots of difference between them. It's just a matter of taste.
Taste of music.
Yeah, taste of music. I mean, if you compare their new disco and their discos, that's a big significant thing, because it's still a disco, but it's just new and old disco. So I don't think there are big fine lines between.
But do you guys also need some kind of mentoring?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. I mean, mentoring is very, very important, because we can only learn by the ones who already experience more. I mean, especially when you DJ. I mean, you can't only read by books. It's not gonna be enough. I mean, you also need mentoring with more experience.
All right.
Yes.
So fair enough. But speaking about this industry, especially in your industry, do they actually tend to be impatient in terms of sharing their thoughts or opinions?
Yes, they are. They are very impatient. So that's why you have to give them time to listen, because they will give their opinion right away. They want to give their opinion right away.
So in terms of SOP, for example, do you actually, since you mentioned flexible, are you stick with the rules or regulations, or do you actually, okay, since they're, we have to treat them differently, we have to be flexible of changing these rules. So do banks or maybe in your company change SOPs or like alter them, for example?
No, because banking is very regulated, right? Banking is very regulated, so we don't change SOP, which is the SOP that is really regulated. We don't. But we actually change things that we can do it more flexible, like benefit or anything. But no SOP.
Oh, benefits.
We also
working hours,
benefit, working space, because they actually can work from anywhere. In our cases, they can work from anywhere. They can work from Starbucks. They can. We give them system that they can actually just go with their laptop anywhere, and they work from home. They work from other branches. We have branches everywhere in Jakarta.
And in the first segment, you said that youngsters nowadays or millennials nowadays tend to, build their own startups. How about in the industry? Do you have like a less number of people who apply in the industry or not?
We still have, but not that much because of the startup company. Or if they actually join us, they will only stay like maximums like 2 or 3 years. Because,
2 or 3 years?
Because they want to actually start their own companies, start up and things like that. Right. But the good thing is by having them, because their thinking is always startup, right? So if we have project, we have innovative projects, they're very good. They are very good.
So still you can have them as partner, for example, or maybe someone who can help the project of the bigger industry as well.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Ibu Satia, Indrarini, thank you so much for being here in the morning. So now, coming up, we will check out this camera. This camera or that camera? This one. Okay, coming up, we will check out the current situation before the U.S. presidential debate. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. In DayBreak.
What the heck?
Okay.
Okay.
You heard it all, but did not know.